So when the very first God of War game was released, I think one of the very first things in a lot of people's minds was probably not a sequel. Now, there are probably a lot of people who said, man, it would be nice to get a sequel, but I can remember probably going through that euphoria of having beaten the game and gone, man, this was such a good, well-written game in regard to story and a lot of the elements. But now we've come to this point where within a few days, at least 6 days or 7 days, a week, God of War Ragnarok is going to be coming, and a lot of the story is going to continue to unfold. Now, just the other day, about 24 hours ago, I finally completed my run for this game on PC. It's been something I've been wanting to do. I just wanted to do the story. I thought I was probably going to have enough time to do a 100% run, but that did not manifest. I've been playing this thing for a very long time, but at this stage, I just feel like, man, I'm just going to beat the game and just call it good. And if I can do the 100% run, I probably would, maybe focus on that on the PlayStation version of Ragnarok. But what I really wanted to go ahead and highlight in this video is the story and a lot of the plot lines that were showcased in the very first game. Those of you who already played the game, you know that this first game is basically a journey. That's pretty much all it is. They take a journey to go from Midgard, find their way to Jotunheim, which is pretty much where their mother and wife request that they actually, basically go ahead and spread her ashes. Over the course of time, there's an unfolding with all of these different characters that are in this realm, or all the different set of characters in this realm that they come across. So the story pretty much builds a lot of the different characters. And I think this very next game is probably going to go ahead and maybe unveil something that we were quite curious about, which was when Atreus and Kratos made their way to Jotunheim. There is something at the end of the game that I don't necessarily know if a lot of people may remember, but what they found out that all of what their journey looked like was already a manifest prophecy in a sense. So they made their way to Jotunheim and then saw a lot of stuff on the wall that pretty much depicted exactly what would happen with their entire journey. So this was very interesting to see. And at the end of that prophecy, it put Kratos in a very weird place. In fact, that prophecy showed Kratos probably dying in a sense. Now, we don't know what the plot for God of War Ragnarok is, as much as I may have seen leaks or whatever. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but I haven't even seen any ending that I can even say this is something is definitive. But it is something that is probably a hypothesis overall. But I think that's not necessarily the point of this conversation. The point is there's going to be a thing where the developers go ahead and at least put Atreus in a position where he takes up the mantle. Those of you who remember, this is a kid who was a very awkward kid and, in a sense was growing up, coming up, seemed to be really weak, had a little illness. And I think he's going to play a focal part of the story where they're going to basically, develop much more, a bigger character arc for him. Because if you notice from the trailers, he's actually much older than the Atreus that you had in the game. And so I think he's probably going to be in a position where he's going to be the next, in quote, God of War character. Now, how this is going to be executed is, in my opinion, and I'm predicting all of this here, Kratos is probably not going to be in a position where that prophecy is fulfilled. I don't think so. He always has this talk about, we make our destiny. We do that. So he's probably going to be like, I'm Kratos, man. I'm not going to succumb to some prophetic talk about me, catching dust or whatever, or being deleted or something like that. So I think he's probably going to maybe be in an elder statesman type, position overall. But this is a very interesting conversation and an interesting set of theories to explore. And I'm quite confident that however it goes, I think the developers are going to be onto something and are going to really put a lot of good work on the table. But it is also very interesting because based on the trailers, we got to see some new characters and we got to see some other characters get some reintroductions. So if you notice the dwarves, Brock and Sindri, these two dwarves, they really played a very focal part in the very first game. I really like that this journey was not just, Kratos and Atreus. It was Kratos, Atreus, Mimir, Brock, and Sindri. That was the journey overall. It was a 5-party, journey. It wasn't just the two of them. And I like the way the game made us think that, you were focusing on these two characters, where in reality, they actually brought these other characters along the way. So looking at how they're going to build Atreus' arc and looking at the potential new characters we're going to be seeing and their arc building, I don't know where Kratos is going to fall in all of that conversation by the time the game ends. throw out your theories in the comment section for me. I'm curious as to what it is that you think, and I'll be happy to have the conversation by and large. So thanks so much for watching the video. I really appreciate you guys' time and audience, and hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another video. Peace out.